In almost every country around the world, there are laws that make perfect sense. Laws designed to protect people, maintain order, and keep society functioning. But hidden deep in legal books are some truly bizarre rules that seem completely out of place in the modern world. Believe it or not, many of these strange laws are still technically enforced today. You might laugh at them, you might scratch your head in confusion, but one thing is certain: if you accidentally break one of these, you could end up in some very awkward trouble. So in today's video, we're diving into 7 weird laws you won't believe are still enforced. And before we get started, here's a question for you. Which of these laws would get you in trouble? Drop your answer in the comments below. I'd love to see which one trips you up the most. Number 7, don't chew gum in Singapore. Singapore is one of the cleanest and most orderly places on the planet. But did you know that something as small and innocent as chewing gum can land you in legal hot water there? That's right, the sale of chewing gum has been banned in Singapore since 1992. The reason? Gum was constantly being stuck under seats, on sidewalks, and even in train doors, which caused damage and costly repairs. The government took action, and the ban is still strictly enforced today. If you're caught smuggling in gum, you can face fines of up to thousands of dollars. Even possessing gum for personal use is restricted unless it's medically prescribed for dental or nicotine treatment. Imagine visiting Singapore, pulling out a stick of gum, and suddenly realizing you've just broken the law. Talk about an awkward vacation story. Number 6, no high heels at ancient sites in Greece. Tourists visiting Greece often dream of exploring the country's breathtaking ancient ruins, the Parthenon, the Temple of Apollo, or the famous amphitheaters. But here's a law you probably didn't expect. Wearing high heels at historic sites is banned. The rule was introduced in 2009, and it might sound funny, but it actually makes sense. High heels can damage the fragile stone floors of these 1,000-year-old landmarks. Even a tiny stiletto heel can chip away at the surfaces, leaving lasting marks on history. To protect these priceless ruins, Greece made it illegal to wear high heels while visiting ancient monuments. So if you're planning to look fashionable on your next trip to Athens, remember, leave the stilettos at home. Otherwise, you could be fined for your choice of footwear. Number 5, don't let your chicken cross the road in Georgia, USA. We've all heard the classic joke, why did the chicken cross the road? But in Gainesville, Georgia, that question isn't funny. It's against the law. That's right, in this small American city, there is actually an ordinance that makes it illegal for chickens to cross the road. The reasoning is rooted in safety. Gainesville is known as the poultry capital of the world, with chicken farming being a massive industry there. Local lawmakers wanted to prevent poultry from wandering into traffic, causing accidents, or disrupting the city. While it sounds silly, the law is still technically enforceable. So if you own chickens in Gainesville, you better make sure they stay in the yard, because if they cross the road, you could end up with more than just a punchline. Number 4, don't forget to walk your dog in Italy. In the Italian city of Turin, being a pet owner comes with a surprising legal responsibility. You must walk your dog at least 3 times a day. That's not just advice for good pet care, it's literally the law. Animal welfare regulations in Turin are among the strictest in Europe. The idea is to prevent neglect and ensure pets live happy, healthy lives. If you fail to walk your dog regularly, you could face a fine of up to 500 euros. Imagine a police officer pulling you over, not for speeding, but for not walking your pug. While this law might sound extreme, many animal rights activists praise it as a way to guarantee better treatment for pets. Still, it raises a strange question: how exactly do you enforce a dog walking law? Number 3, don't swear in front of a corpse in South Africa. Here's one that's both bizarre and a little unsettling. In South Africa, it's illegal to use offensive, profane, or insulting language in front of a corpse. Yes, you heard that correctly. The law is designed to maintain dignity and respect for the deceased, but it also stretches into very unusual territory. Imagine attending a funeral and accidentally letting a curse word slip. You could technically be breaking the law. While enforcement is rare, the rule still exists in South Africa's legal code. The idea might sound strange, but it's actually a reminder of how cultural values and traditions can influence the laws that stick around. Respecting the dead is important, but having your words policed in such a situation is something most people would never expect. Number 2, don't run out of gas on the Autobahn in Germany. Germany's famous Autobahn is every car lover's dream. Endless stretches of smooth road where, in certain areas, there's no speed limit at all. Drivers can push their vehicles to speeds they'd never be able to legally reach elsewhere. But with that thrill comes one very unusual restriction. It's actually illegal to run out of gas on the Autobahn. The reasoning is all about safety. If your car runs out of fuel, you'll be forced to stop on the shoulder, and stopping on the Autobahn is extremely dangerous. Cars and trucks routinely fly by at over 100 miles per hour, and even a single stationary vehicle can create a massive hazard that puts everyone at risk. Authorities don't see running out of gas as just bad luck. they see it as negligence. To prevent accidents, German law makes it a punishable offense. If you're caught stranded because your tank hit empty, you could face fines and even penalty points on your driving record. In extreme cases, if your breakdown leads to an accident, you could even face legal consequences far more serious than just a ticket. The rule is also about responsibility. Drivers are expected to plan ahead, fill up before they set out, and never gamble with a near-empty tank. So next time you're cruising down the Autobahn with the thrill of no speed limit, remember, enjoy the ride, but don't let your fuel gauge dip too low. Because here, running out of gas isn't just inconvenient, it's a crime. Number 1, don't die in a certain town in France. Finally, we arrive at what might be the strangest law of them all, one that makes you question how it could even exist. In the tiny town of Sarporenx, France, it is illegal to die within the town limits. Yes, you heard that correctly. Passing away in this little commune is technically against the law. The ordinance was introduced in 2008 after the town cemetery became completely full. With no room left for new burials, the mayor issued a decree declaring that anyone who didn't already have a reserved burial plot must not die within the town's boundaries. He even warned that violators would be severely punished. Of course, this sounds absurd. After all, how can anyone control when or where they die? But the law wasn't meant to be practical. It was the mayor's dramatic way of highlighting a serious problem, a lack of cemetery space and no support from higher government levels to expand it. His tongue-in-cheek approach was both humorous and a form of protest, but the decree technically remains on record. The result is a law that's equal parts tragic, comical, and surreal. Imagine being a lifelong resident of Sarporenx only to be told, sorry, if you plan on dying, you'll have to do it somewhere else. It might be the most unenforceable law in the world, but it still holds the title for being one of the weirdest ever written. And there you have it. 7 weird laws that, believe it or not, are still enforced around the world. From chewing gum bans to high heel restrictions, chicken road crossing ordinances to dog walking requirements, these strange rules show just how quirky and unexpected legal systems can be. Some of these laws exist for safety, like making sure no one runs out of fuel on the Autobahn. Others exist for preservation, like protecting Greece's ancient ruins from stiletto heels. And then there are those that come from tradition, culture, or even sheer bureaucracy, like banning chewing gum in Singapore, or, believe it or not, forbidding people to die in a small French town. Together, they remind us of something fascinating. The law doesn't just shape our societies, it also reflects our quirks, our fears, and even our sense of humor. They prove that reality can sometimes be far stranger and way more entertaining than fiction. So now I want to hear from you. Which one of these bizarre laws would get you in trouble? Would it be chewing gum without thinking in Singapore, skipping a dog walk in Italy, or maybe daring to drive a little too far on an almost empty tank in Germany? Drop your answer in the comments because I'm curious to see which law trips up the most people. And if you enjoyed today's journey into the weirdest corners of the law, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps the channel. Don't forget to subscribe if you love discovering fascinating stories like these, and share this video with a friend who enjoys bizarre facts as much as you do. Who knows, you might just save them from accidentally breaking one of the strangest laws still being enforced around the world. And hey, stick around. We've got more surprising, funny, and unbelievable stories coming your way. Because as you've just seen, when it comes to the laws of the world, sometimes the truth really is stranger than fiction.